Hello everyone, and welcome back to another brand new lesson on Microsoft Excel. Now in this lesson, which is lesson 2, we're going to explore the interface, and I'm going to show you guys how you can change your ribbons, how you can customize those ribbons, and how you can access the formulas as well. Alright, so let's go to Microsoft Excel and I'll open a blank page, a blank workbook for all you to understand. Alright, so I'm back in Microsoft Excel. So from here I'm going to open a blank workbook, and I showed you how you can do that. Now there's two ways that you can actually do that. You can actually just click on this blank workbook, or you can just simply type in Control+N, and you can see that we have a new tab open just like that. Okay, so Control+N will open you a new workbook, and if you press on Control+W, you can just close this current workbook, and then you won't close the whole Excel file. Okay, so basically if you're on a Macintosh, then you can use the command button instead of the control button. That only goes for Apple products. Okay, so now from here you can see the layout is like this. Okay, we have our top bar, we have the quick access toolbar, we have our search engine, and we have our tabs as well. Alright, so the tabs are comprised of File, Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, View, Developer, and Help. Okay, and inside Home, you can see currently inside Home, I already showed you what the file does. Now basically if I click on the file, it will take me to the start screen. Okay, and if I click on this back button again, it will take me back to my workbook. So basically the second one is the home. Okay, so we'll get into this later on because these are called ribbons and we have a lot to cover on here. So before that we have our top bar. Okay, now you can see in our far left corner we have a few options right over here. The first one is actually shaped like a disk, and it is called the save, and once I hover over it you can see that it says Control+S, right? So Control+S basically saves your whole document if you are typing or if you're working on a project or not. Okay, and then if I hover over here you can see it says can't undo. It is actually undo and redo button right over here. Currently it's not turned on. Okay, so these are actually these buttons that are actually available on your quick access toolbar. So this is basically the quick access toolbar, and the second one is the form. Okay, now if you want a form, if you want to make a form, then you can use this command from over here. So these are all by default set up here as quick access toolbar, and also I have this customized quick access toolbar. Now basically take a look. Once I click on this, you can see there are all of these options that I can actually place here. Okay, like it says new, open, and the save, undo, and redo has the tick mark labeled on them. That's because these are all selected to appear on your quick access toolbar. And there are also many options as well. Now if you want more options, you can go and click on more commands, and you can see it opens up our Excel options. Now you might remember Excel options from our previous lesson where I told you that actually Excel options is the settings of Microsoft Excel. So from here you can actually customize your quick access toolbar. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to click on OK, so it's going to close. After that you can see it says book 1 and -Excel. Basically I haven't named my file yet. That's why by default it says book 1. If I had named my blank workbook, then it would have shown the name as well. So I'm going to show you how you can do that in another lesson. And here in the middle of the top bar we have is a search bar. Okay, basically this search bar is used to search anything on Excel. Now it has to be Excel commands that you're searching. In order to do that, you can just go ahead and click right over here and type for anything that you need. Okay, for instance, if I want to click on view, you can see it says view macros, normal view, show headings, and all of these options from here. Okay, if I want the copy option, you can see the copy option is also available. If you take a look at the home option right over here, the home tab, we have in the ribbons, we have this copy option right over here. And since I typed in copy on the search bar, it also shows the same function from over here, right? Like for instance, if I go to this action right over here, and if I go to this drop down bar, you can see there are options also right over here. Okay, so if I click on this drop down, you can see that it says copy as picture, the same options that were showing in the search bar as well. Okay, so the search bar is actually very useful. You can search for anything that you need in convenience. So after the search bar, we have account. You can see here it says my account right over here, and it's basically your Microsoft account you can view. And if you want access for more information, you can just click on Office user information. Alright, so I'm not gonna get into that more right over here because I actually covered this in our start screen lesson, so I'm not gonna go over this again. Alright, so after that we have is the ribbon display option. Okay, now this is optional. In many cases, a lot of Excel accounts, they have this option by default, and a lot of them doesn't. Okay, so if you don't have it, you don't have to be alarmed. Alright, so it is not that important. Now if I click on ribbon display options, you can see there are like 3 options mainly right over here. It says auto hide ribbons, show tabs and commands. Okay, so if I click on auto hide ribbons, you can see all the ribbons are gone. Okay, now I only have my workbook or my worksheet right over here, which I can work on. Okay, so if I click on this 3 dots, you can see everything returns back to normal. And if I go back here, you can see it says auto hide ribbons. Now if I click on show tabs, you can see that only the tabs are appearing, right? Now if I click on home, you can see it drops down with those options, and if I back click the home, you can see it rolls down again. So now here, if I go back here and click on show tabs and commands, everything will be gone back to normal. Alright, so those are the options. Okay, I hope you understood. Alright, and then we have these options right over here. I already gone into these options, what they do. Alright, so I'm not gonna cover them again. Okay, so now that the top part of the screen has been covered, let's cover these tabs right over here. Okay, firstly you'll see this file tab. Already I told you the file tab only takes you to the start screen, so I'm not going to cover that. So I'm going to start from the home tab right over here. Now if you take a look over here, if I click on insert or page layout, these commands appear. Now these are basically the ribbons. Okay, they're actually recognized as ribbons by Excel users. And also if you're familiar with any type of Microsoft Office application, you would know that these are all called ribbons. Alright, okay, so basically in the home option, you will find your cut, copy, paste options right over here. Now if you take a look more closely, that the home tab is actually comprised of different compartments, right? These are all divided like this: clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, sales, and editing. Okay, now these are all comprised into compartments. Now in the clipboard compartment, you can see it says cut, copy, format, painter. Now these are all the default parts of your clipboard. Okay, so it has paste. Now since we haven't copied anything, the paste option is not activated. Okay, also if I hover over, you can see there's this paste. It says paste, Ctrl+V, and in the screen tips it says add content on clipboard to your document. Okay, we're gonna cover screen tips later on. Now you can see here in the clipboard we have cut, copy, and format, painter. Basically if you cut and copy, if you copy anything and then you want to paste it, you can use this clipboard from over here in your home tab. Next we have is the font. Alright, so in the font you can see basically you can change the format of your fonts from over here. Like you can change the font family, you can change the font size, you can change the font anything from here, color, and then you can make it bold, you can make it italic. For instance, if I click on over here and if I add any type of text, you can see by default it's like this. Now if I select it and click on this bold option, you can see that it turns bold. Also this italic, it turns it italic. If I want an underline, I can give an underline as well. Okay, so that is how you do it. Now if I want to change the size, you can see it changes as well. Okay, now the preview is on right now. Okay, if you want, you can turn off the preview as well. So you can see that by default it's 11, right? Okay, so I'm just going to keep it that way, and basically I'm just going to click on Control+A, and I'm going to delete every single text because I don't need this text right now. Alright, so there are these options from font, and then we have is the alignment. Now in alignment, basically there are options how you can align your text around. Okay, there are like a lot of options like wrap text and then merge and center. All of these options are available on your alignment compartment. Then we have numbers. If you want to add numbers or any symbols, you can use this numbers compartment as well. Then we have the styles. Now if you want to change your graphics or the styles of your text, you can come over to the styles and choose any options right over here, like format as table, cell styles, then conditional formatting. You can use any of them to your leisure. Then we have cells. Over here we have insert, delete, format. You can use them if you want. If you have any problem, then you can actually come over here and click on insert and then go over it just as you want. Okay, then we have the editing option. The editing comprised of AutoSum. Now these are actually formulas. AutoSum is a formula, and then we have fill, clear, sort and filter, and find and search. Now find and search is very useful as well. You can find and search for anything that you want or any content that you want that is representing your project. All right, okay, so that was the home tab. Now let's move on to the insert tab. Okay, now if you want to insert any additional tables, if you want to insert shapes or any type of charts, you can come to this insert tab and you'll find like tables, illustrations, add-ins, charts, tours, and then sparklings, and then we have filters, links, and symbols as well. Our symbols we covered earlier as well in the home tab. Now in this one we actually have a wide range of symbols. For instance, if I click on symbol, you can see there are like letters and symbols like around all of here. Okay, you just need to select one and then click on insert. So in the insert, you can see we have table, pictures, as well as screenshots as well. Okay, and as well as these recommended pivot tables as well. And just like the home tab, you can see it has different compartments, and I went over these compartments just a second ago. Okay, all right, so the next one is page layout. Now basically this does as is the title, it layouts the page with its options like colors, fonts, effects, themes, and margins and orientation. Now if you want to change the orientation of the page, you can do that as well. You can see it has portrait and landscape mode as well. Alright, so you can do that whatever you want to choose. You can add a background as well. You can change the width and the height and the scale of your content from over here. Okay, we have guidelines, headings as well, arrange. You can bring forward and send backward as well. Okay, so that was the page layout. And then we have another tab, which is the formulas. Now the formulas tab is very important because basically Excel is comprised of formulas, right? So basically this formulas tab is very, very important. Now if you take a look over here in formulas, they have only 4 compartments right over here. Okay, the first one is function library, then defined names, formula auditing, and then we have calculation. Alright, so from here, function library, we have insert function, AutoSum, recently used, financial, logical, text, date and time, and then all of these as well. There are more options as well. If you click on these more options, you can see it says statistic, and then we have engineering, cube. Now these are all advanced options. You don't need to go over too much because you're a beginner, so you just need to know the basics over here. Okay, so just know that this is the formulas tab where you can actually change the formulas, you can add formulas, you can also remove them as well. Okay, so you can see here we have watch window, and then we have calculation options as well. Now there's another command called calculate now. If I click on this calculate now, you can see nothing happens because we don't have any elements right over here in our worksheet right now. Okay, so next after the formulas we have is the data tab. Okay, so let me click on the data tab, and now you can see that we have this data tab, and there are a lot of compartments here, like get and transform data, queries and connections, sort and filter, data tools, forecast, and outline. Now if you take a look over here, you can see here you can sort it in the sort and filter option. Also there is a filter option as well. All right, so these are all good resources, really good commands that you can use for your project or any other Excel sheet that you're preparing. So after the data tab we have is the review. Now in the review you can see there is the spelling checking command here, which you'll also find in your Microsoft Word as well, but they have it in your Excel as well. Okay, then we have this one, and basically this layout is similar to Microsoft Word, the review part right over here, and it has proofing, accessibility, insights, language, comments, and prefect or project. Okay, and then we have this ink tab as well. All right, so then we have is the view. Now the view is actually very interesting. You can actually change your views. Like it's right now it's in normal view. Now if I give it an page break preview, you can see how it changes. All right, then I have this page layout as well. All right, so it's giving me a layout of this whole page, and you can see at the side we have this add header, then click to add data, and then we have custom views where you can actually give the commands how you want to use this. All right, so I'm just going to close this one, and in this view option we have workbook views, which is this one. Let me first change it back to normal, and then we have this show, which actually presents rulers, then formula bar. The formula bar is this bar right over here, and also headings and guidelines as well. So after that we have is the zoom right over here. Now you can actually access the zoom by going far right down right over here. You can see if I hover over this bar right over here, it says zoom. You can actually zoom in like this, and you can zoom out like this. All right, it's like that. All right, if you want to just keep it moderate, you can just keep it in the middle just like that, right? And you can actually zoom in from over here. Now take a notice here, if I just zoom in like this, and if I click on this 100%, it just goes back to 100% at its normal default view, right? Okay, so now clearly this part is actually connected to this part, so yeah, you can actually use the zoom from here or down there as well. It's up to you how you want to use it. Another compartment is this window. It says new window, arrange all, freeze panes, and then split or hide or unhide. Now unhide is definitely turned off right now. If I give it like hide, you can see unhide activates on itself, and everything is hidden right now. And now if you click on unhide, and it's gonna ask me if I want to unhide the book 1, and if you have any other books, it's gonna suggest if you want to unhide book 1 or 2 or 3. So I'm just gonna click on OK, and it's gonna go back to normal. Alright, so next we have is the developer tab. Now if I click on the developer tab, basically for this course, this beginner's course, you're not going to need this developer tab, okay, because this is more advanced. If you're working with macros and other codes on VBA, Excel VBA, then you're going to need this developer tab. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can erase these tabs or remove tabs later on in our tabs lessons. So I'm going to show you how you can remove it, because we're not going to need it, so it's just going to stay like there without any use. So let's go to this help tab right over here. Now the help tab is basically help. You can contact the support, or you can give feedback or show training. Now if I click on show training, you can see it doesn't show up right now because probably some internet connection problem, so I'm just gonna close this one. Alright, so these were the tabs that you can choose from, okay? And just remember that this formulas tab is very important because we're gonna work with a lot of formulas in Excel. We're gonna go down there later, and I'm just gonna go back to the home tab, okay? Basically, mainly you're gonna work on this home tab, and you're gonna go over to the view tab as well, and also the insert tab. Alright, so now if I go down, you can see there's this name box right over here. So this name box actually changes its name. Now notice if I go over to my worksheet, if I just go ahead and select any type of compartment or any type of cell, now these individual blocks that you see are called cells, okay? So once I click on this cell, now this cell is in column F and it's in row 6, okay? So it's probably named, it's not probably named, it's definitely named F6. And if you take a look in the name box, it says F6. So that's basically the name box, the function of the name box. If I click on this drop down bar, you can see it shows the bars that I've selected. Now if I select, let's say, multiple tabs, all right, so now you can see if I go click on this drop down, you can see nothing happens, but everything has been selected, like from 6 to 11. All right, so let me select this one right over here. So next one we have is the formula bar. Now any type of formula that you add, the formula will be reviewed in this formula bar right over here. It's going to be shown over here, and you can actually fix your formulas from over here, okay? And you're going to see these in detail in our formula lesson. All right, and I already told you that this interface right over here is the worksheet, where you're going to give your elements and your functions as well. Now if you go down, you can see here it says sheet 1. Now from here there's a plus button. You can actually add new sheets if you want. If you want to add a blank sheet, just click on this. Now it's going to create another sheet named sheet 2. Now notice that if I go up right over here, it says book 1. Now this is sheet 2 of book 1. All right, so remember that we haven't opened another worksheet, we just opened another sheet in this worksheet right over here. All right, so if you want to cut this, you can just cut it manually like this. Just go over here, right click, and you'll find this delete button. Just click on it and it's going to delete the extra sheet just like that. All right, and at the bottom right over here, you can see there's another bar, and I already covered the zoom. And if you take a look at the bottom right over here, it's basically a notification bar for you. It's gonna tell you whatever's happening right over here and what can happen later on. Okay, so guys, that was basically the interface of Microsoft Excel. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you understood the interface and all of these ribbons right over here, the home, insert, page, layout, and all of these as well. So with this, it's going to make your lessons and learning lessons much more easier to understand because you already know which does which. All right, so with this, I'm going to end this lesson and we're gonna go over to the next lesson, and I will see you guys there. Okay.